everyone, I hope you're all well and managing to enjoy some time sewing in this weird world that we're living in at the moment. I've looked like something that's been dragged out of a drain crossed with an 80s rock star for the past couple of days, so I thought today I would put some makeup on and film a vlog, because I know I said that I would do something about the Linden sweatshirt and what I've done with it, and I've got a little in progress of making another Linden out of this gorgeous Liberty sweatshirt in. So it reminded me that I said that I would do it. So I was going to talk you through the changes that I've made to the Linden pattern and show you different versions. You've seen a couple of them before, but not the one where I think I've got it to the point where it's perfect. So this is my first Linden that I made. Now the first thing to say is that I completely ignored the suggested size. I've got the pattern here. So based on my body measurements, I should have made like a size 4 or maybe even a size 6. But when I actually looked at the size of the pattern, I thought I didn't want it that big. So this is the size 0, the smallest one. And as you can see, there's still quite a lot of room in it. I do really like this version. So it's quite old now, but this fabric is quite lightweight, so it's sort of quite drapey, but it's got quite a wide collar, certainly on me. And I wanted something that was a bit closer fitting and had a bit more of a traditional sweatshirty type vibe to it. So I started to make some changes to the pattern. I'll insert, rather than trying to show you the pattern pieces, I'll insert some photos. But basically all I did was to take 1 centimetre off the fold line on the front and the back pieces, so that basically it was 2 centimetres smaller, like taken out on the front, and 2 centimetres on the back. And then to make your hemband match up, you have to take 1 centimetre off the hemband as well. And because there's only one piece of the neckband, you have to take 2 centimetres off that. I don't know about anybody else, but I really struggled with the seam allowance on the Linden sweatshirt. So I think, just looking at it, is it 2/8 or something, or 1/8? It's something really teeny tiny that they actually recommend. Hold on, I'm on cutting, instructions, sewing. Yeah. A 1/4, so a 2/8 seam allowance, and I really struggled with that to kind of make my fabrics work. Particularly this started to sort of curl at the edges, so it was really hard to actually sew it with that seam allowance. So I decided on my next one I was just going to do a normal seam allowance, and I'll get changed into that now and I'll show you what happened. So this was the second Linden that I made. Now, several things went a little bit wrong with this. Firstly, taking that extra seam allowance, it is too tight at the cuffs. It's literally like I'm in handcuffs to get in and out of this. I can't pull it up at all on my arms, so that was a bit of a mistake. This fabric also wasn't the best for the Linden sweatshirt. It probably doesn't have enough stretch in it to actually kind of work for this pattern particularly. So it's not the comfiest of wears, but I still like it. And I also had a problem with getting the neckband to lie flat. I think because it's not got the right amount of stretch, I couldn't stretch it enough at the bottom to make it kind of lie flat. But again, these are minor details. I'm looking at it, you guys will probably see that as sewers, but average person on the street probably won't notice that, especially if I do that with my hair. You'll never know. So I decided that when I tried it again, I preferred the neckline. I preferred the slightly closer fit, because that's kind of how I would buy sweatshirts if I was buying them from the shop. Because I find, I don't know about you, but if we buy like an oversized sweatshirt, somehow it doesn't feel as warm if it's not like actually snuggled onto you. So I decided to make another one, and this time, rather than going up to the usual 5/8 seam allowance, I was going to try a 3/8 seam allowance, so only going up a little bit from what the pattern said, but still giving me a bit more wiggle room, but then it wouldn't be quite as tight as this one. So hold fire, I'm coming back. So I think it's safe to say I've cracked it, or I think I've cracked it now with this. So still got the centimetre out the front and the back, but it said only gone up to a 3/8 seam allowance, so it's now not trying to, cut off the circulation to my hands. Neckline went in. This is the first time neckline. Never happens. First time. And I think as well, on some of the previous ones, I hadn't top stitched the neckline down, and actually that really does help to make it lie flatter. But I think this is just now an ideal sweatshirt pattern. I still might make it oversized again if I have a kind of a looser fabric like my first fabric. But for fabrics like this, and this was a gorgeous, it's like a basket weave effect. I'm going to try and hope that my camera focuses on that. I noticed on my last couple of videos that actually the resolution on my camera was rubbish. So now I've got it facing away from me, so I've got no idea what's in shot. I'm hoping this is filmed okay, and hoping that it's kind of zoomed in and stuff. But this was from Guthrie and Garney, and it's so nice and it's so cozy. But yes, I think for anyone who's made a Linden and thinks that actually they'd like a more traditional sort of round sweatshirt neckline and didn't think that pattern would do it for them, you can do it. Just take a centimetre out the front and the back, and you get this much sort of rounder neckline as opposed to that really open one. So hopefully I'll have sewn up my Liberty one today, tomorrow, and I'll be able to show you that in a new makes video. But I think that's it for me on my tour of my Liberty Linden sweatshirts. So yeah, stay safe everyone, enjoy sewing, and I'll see you soon.